This is Junker's Review. Don't forget to like, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. Oh, I like your background.
That's right.
Dwarves.
They're not dwarves, man. They're magical people. What are you talking about? What did they say they were?
You know why they decided to use magical creatures instead of dwarves? One person.
I don't. You know what? You know what I hope. Yeah. The funniest part of that movie is going to be when Gal Gadot asks the mirror who the fairest one in the kingdom is, and that mirror says, "Not Gal Gadot, but it's that homeless girl." That is going to be the funniest thing.
Interview where they're like standing like on the red carpet or a premiere, and Gal Gadot standing to the behind her here, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we take a modern take on it. It's about women empowerment. She doesn't need to wait for a man to kiss her." And Gal Gadot is going like this, just she does not want to look at the camera.
Same thing. So we're getting off track. What we're going to talk about is the Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom. Excellent movie. I did not know anything about that movie until about 2 days before my wife and I went to go see it. It is a powerful movie. It's about child trafficking. It was shot. I mean, I think it was made like 5 years ago, and I don't remember. I think it was made by Fox, and then what was it? Disney bought Fox and then kind of shelved it for mysterious reasons. But they kind of shelved it, and then somehow it ended up with Angel Films, and it was distributed. And I don't know if you know this or not, but that film right now it's about $100 million. It beat Indiana Jones several days. I mean, it didn't beat it for the week total, but it ended up beating it on several different days. I went with my wife to go see it, and then you and I went to go see it.
Because I was so emotionally
disturbed.
Yes. I mean, my brain is like, I can't believe that happened. And then then once my brain caught back up, I'm like in a different scene. I'm like, oh my gosh, how is this going on? This is just awful. It was, it's very disturbing, and it's not one of those movies where you're just riveted. You want to just riveted to every word. Your brain just cannot keep up with all the nastiness in this movie.
We talk a lot during movies. We did not talk much during that movie. I mean, we hardly said a word. I mean, so let's just describe loosely what the movie's about. It's about child trafficking, which is probably why Disney killed it, because apparently the higher ups there are either child traffickers or child trafficker adjacent. Who knows? But it's supposedly, and I'd have to really research this. It's loosely based on a true story. It's not do what?
It's not loosely based. It's actual. I mean, the person, the Tim Ballard,
yeah,
the man that this is made after, he was there. This is pretty much, except for some of the dialogue, it's pretty much exactly scene for scene how he went down there.
He was a special agent with the Department of Homeland Security some way. His job was arresting people basically who distribute child pornography. He ends up getting sort of irritated that he's catching child pornographers, but what he's not doing is freeing the kids. So he tricks tricks a child pornographer into basically, not to get into too many details, but he ends up he's able to, because he becomes kind of really obsessed with freeing the kid's sister.
Mr. Tim Ballard has been negotiating with his superior to get funding so he could go down there and do a small sting to try to rescue the girl. They say no, so he goes down. Tim goes down there, and he meets up. He's put in contact with I can't remember the character's name, but he used to work for a cartel. He had an incident where he thought he was getting an adult hooker and she was underage, and it changed his life, and he decided to help get kids out. He was saving a few kids, and Tim's character, the character of Tim, went down there, and they were deciding how to set up a large-scale sting for pedophiles. the character Tim had another millionaire that they've used on several stings when he was with the department, and the guy was really into helping. So they called Tim's character called this other millionaire character to see if he would help. Yeah, they set up the club on the island, and there is another female character. I can't remember her name, but she was the one who ran an agency. It's more like a modeling agency, but it was really for setting up parents to take away steal their children. They set up what she would go and talk to the parents and say, we're going to go to a model agency, meet us here at this time, and they get a bunch of children together, parents, and they would tell the parents come out, get them in 6 hours.
They basically set up an Epstein Island type raid.
Yeah,
they ended up catching a lot of people.
Wait a minute, I've done something to my office chair, the back of it, and somehow I think I reversed the spring in it. I mean the tension, and it's like the rest is what like pushing me out of the seat. It's weird. I'm sorry, I'm having issues with my chair.
Okay, anyway, out of the raid, they get the information that the girl is being held basically in rebel territory. And he goes in and rescues her because this is going on. 2 kids were rescued out of a lot. And it's also obvious that the folks partaking in this are, some of our super wealthy. It was basically, they basically pinpointed highly wealthy Americans.
Well, if it wasn't for the Americans who got caught, they would have never known how big it was or where it was coming from.
So, think about this movie, I guess you will, the next time you're watching a Tom Hanks movie, wasn't he on that Epstein list or whatever? I think he was. Anyway, I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard. I mean, I don't know what you think about it.
Robert
it's
De
hard
Niro
to say. Do what?
Robert De Niro was on that island.
Yeah, not the one in this movie, but it's hard. It's for a movie like this. It's hard to say, "Hey, 2 thumbs up." I really, but it was a good movie. It was a little bit obvious that it was made on a shoestring budget. It maybe didn't flow as good as it could have.
I'm not going to give it 2 thumbs up, but I'm going to give it, please go see it to promote it.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's working. I saw it in the Pinnacle, and it was the only theater in town that was showing it. And then 2 or 3 days later, when I went with you, they had moved it to Downtown West because of demand. So, and I think it is funny as hell that it gave Indiana Jones trouble. I mean, this is a powerful movie, of course, but Indiana Jones was not a powerful movie. I mean, I'm so glad this beat it.
Let's go, Brandon.
Okay, so I'm going to say, go see this movie. Go support this movie. There's a pretty nice message at the end of the movie. I think it's very telling that several years ago, before any of this was on the radar, that movie Taken came out, which was more or less it was a fictional account of the same kind of stuff, and nobody said anything. This movie comes out after everybody's radar has been activated over the Epstein stuff, and all of a sudden you've got every idiot in Hollywood trashing the movie. If you go watch it, you're a right-wing QAnon nonsense guy. I mean, and I think it's a little suspicious. People don't usually go out of their way to talk about how much. I mean, when you're trying to talk people out of seeing a movie that.
Okay.
What?
You just mentioned the radar. Taken was released in 2008. That is before the Epstein. You're correct on that. That's why it was.
Yeah, nobody cared. Nobody cared about the topic, and now everybody kind of does. And there's a list floating around out there that probably has a lot of people that, are wealthy, are doing things they shouldn't be doing. And
the mainstream media has been hounding this movie, saying it's
or they've ignored it.
Calling it propaganda.
I mean, they've ignored a movie that is, on a box office, on a budget of like $10 million, is made like 100. Anyway, I'm going to say go see the movie.
Yes. Can't say 2 thumbs up, but go see the movie to promote it.
Yeah. Well, do your thing to close the video out.
This is Junker's Review. Please subscribe, hit that like button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so we can keep bringing you content for the next movies. Oh, we said recording in progress. I wasn't going to talk about the movie.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm just running out of time here. What were you saying about my background?
Okay. Peter Dinklage, the little guy from Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
He's the one that's all upset about putting midgets in a movie.